Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into something, well, itchy, dandruff, or the more scientific name, pityriasis simplex capillitiae.
Right. And the big thing we want to tackle is that old myth, that it's just about not washing your hair enough.
Exactly, that's just not the whole story. So our mission today is to really dig into the biology of the microbes, the skin's reaction, and talk about treatments that are actually based on, evidence.
It's incredibly common. We're talking nearly half the adult population deals with this. And while it's not medically dangerous.
That could be really distressing, right?
Yeah.
Socially awkward, definitely causes anxiety for a lot of people.
For sure. But first, we need to be clear. Not all flakes are created equal.
That point, what's the difference?
So, standard dandruff, that's usually fine. White or maybe yellowish flakes.
Right.
Often itchy, what doctors call pruritus.
Okay. But sometimes it seems worse, like greasier.
Yes. If the flakes are oilier, stickier, maybe more yellow, and you see redness, inflammation, maybe spreading to the eyebrows, ears, even the chest, that's likely seborrheic dermatitis.
Which is basically dandruff's more severe, angrier cousin.
Pretty much, yeah. Considered a more inflammatory form. And then completely separate is psoriasis.
Ah, the autoimmune one.
Right. Think thick, silvery scales, very dry, on red patches, different mechanism altogether. Today, we're focused on that dandruff and seborrheic dermatitis spectrum.
Got it. So if it's not hygiene, what is the cause? The sources kept calling it a perfect storm, a triad of factors.
Exactly. It's multifactorial. You need 3 things happening at once. The microbe, enough sebum, that's scalp oil, and crucially, your individual susceptibility.
Okay, let's break that down. The microbe first.
The main player is a yeast called Malassea globosa.
And this isn't something you catch, right? It's already there.
Precisely. It's a commensal organism, lives naturally on almost everyone's skin. It belongs there.
Okay.
But here's the kicker. It's lipid dependent. It can't make its own fats. It absolutely needs to feed on external lipids.
Which means it needs our scalp oil, our sebum.
Exactly. That's its food source.
So, we all have the yeast, we all have the food. Seems normal so far. What goes wrong? What's the trigger?
This is where the chemistry gets interesting. Malassea has these enzymes, lipases.
Okay.
And it uses them to break down the triglycerides in our sebum. It's basically eating the fat.
Makes sense. It needs to eat.
But it's a picky eater. It preferentially consumes the saturated fatty acids from those triglycerides.
And what does it leave behind?
It leaves behind an excess of unsaturated oleic acid. And that specific fatty acid, that's the problem. It's a potent irritant for many people.
Wow. Okay. So it's not the yeast itself directly attacking the skin. It's the leftovers from its meal.
You got it. It's the metabolic byproduct, the oleic acid, that causes the irritation and inflammation.
Okay, but hang on. If everyone has Malassea and everyone has sebum, and therefore everyone's scalp probably has some oleic acid on it, why do only about half of us get dandruff?
That's the million-dollar question. It comes down to that third part of the triad. Individual susceptibility. It's all about your skin barrier.
The stratum corneum.
Yeah.
The outer layer.
Exactly. In roughly 50% of people, their scalp barrier is strong enough, robust enough, to keep that irritating oleic acid out. It doesn't penetrate.
But for the other 50%, the unlucky one?
For them, yeah. Their barrier is somehow more permeable to it. Maybe genetically, maybe due to environmental stress. The oleic acid gets through that outer layer.
It breaches the defenses.
Right. And when it does, the skin underneath basically detects an intruder, an irritant, and it triggers an inflammatory response.
An immune reaction, like sounding the alarm.
Precisely. The skin releases pro-inflammatory signals, cytokines, trying to deal with this irritation. But this inflammation has a key consequence. It causes hyperproliferation.
Hyperproliferation? Meaning the skin cells start reproducing way too fast.
Exactly. Think of it like a factory shifting into emergency overdrive. Normally, a skin cell takes about 28 days to mature, move to the surface, and shut off invisibly.
Right.
With this inflammation, that whole cycle gets drastically sped up, down to maybe 5 to 14 days, super fast.
And that speed is bad because
the cells don't have time to mature properly. It's called incomplete cornification. They reach the surface too quickly, they die improperly, and they don't shed nicely one by one.
they stick together.
They clump together. These immature dead cells mixed with sebum, that's what forms the visible flakes we call dandruff. It's literally a sign of the skin cells panicking.
Man, that sounds like a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
The oleic acid causes inflammation. The inflammation speeds up cell turnover. Faster turnover means flakes. and maybe a weaker barrier.
which lets more oleic acid in, causing more inflammation.
Yes, it can definitely become self-perpetuating.
And other things can make it worse, right? Like hormones.
Absolutely. Anything that increases sebum production gives the Malassezia more food. So puberty, stress hormones, they can ramp things up.
And what about like winter? Dry air seems to trigger it for me sometimes.
Yeah, that's common. Cold, dry air can compromise the skin barrier generally, making it easier for irritants like oleic acid to penetrate.
Yeah.
And simple hair care habits matter too.
Well, not washing often enough lets the yeast and sebum build up. But using really harsh shampoos too often can also strip the scalp and damage that barrier, ironically making things worse. It's a balance.
Okay, so understanding this whole ecosystem problem, the yeast, the oil, the inflammation, the fast cell turnover, the treatments need to tackle those things, right?
Exactly. The goals are usually threefold. Control the Malassezia population, calm down the inflammation, and try to normalize that rapid cell cycle. And ideally, remove the existing flakes.
So let's walk through the drugstore aisle. What are the main weapons we find in those over-the-counter shampoos? Rotation seems key, you mentioned.
Yes, rotation is often recommended because Malassezia is persistent. Relying on just one thing forever might lead to reduced effectiveness. There are about 5 main active ingredients you'll see.
Okay, first one, probably everyone knows. Zinc Pyrithione, ZPT. What's its job?
ZPT is mainly an antifungal, also has some antibacterial properties. Its big thing is disrupting the yeast's cell membrane and blocking its ability to transport essential nutrients in.
So it basically messes with the yeast's ability to eat and function. Stars it out.
That's a good way to put it. Reduces the fungal load, so less oleic acid gets produced. Very common, found in lots of brands.
Okay, next up, Selenium Sulfide. Sounds potent.
It is. Selenium sulfide is interesting because it does 2 things. It's antifungal, like ZPT, but it's also anti-proliferative.
Meaning it slows down that crazy fast skin cell production.
Exactly. It helps normalize that 5 to 14-day cycle back towards the normal 28 days. It's very effective. The main caution, though, is it can sometimes discolor light or dyed hair if you don't rinse really, really well.
Good to know. All right, number 3, Ketoconazole. Usually 1% over the counter. How does this one fight the yeast?
Ketoconazole is a broad-spectrum antifungal. It works differently. It stops the yeast from synthesizing something called ergosterol.
Ergosterol.
Think of it as a crucial building block for the fungal cell membrane, like the bricks and mortar. If the yeast can't make ergosterol, it can't build or repair its cell wall, and the cell basically falls apart. It's considered very effective against Malassezia.
Okay, effective. Now, what about coal tar? That sounds old school.
It is pretty traditional, yeah. Coal tar's primary strength is being strongly anti-proliferative. It really slams the brakes on that rapid cell division.
So it's good for heavy flaking. Maybe more for the seborrheic dermatitis side of things.
Exactly, or even for psoriasis sometimes. It's great for thick scales.
Yeah.
But it has downsides, a distinct medicinal smell, and it makes your skin more sensitive to sunlight photosensitizing, so you need sun protection.
Right. Okay, last one. Salicylic acid. I think of this more for acne. How does it help dandruff if it's not antifungal?
Good question. Salicylic acid plays a different role. It's a keratolytic.
Keratolytic.
It breaks down keratin, the protein in skin cells.
Yeah.
More specifically, it helps dissolve the glue, the desmosomes, that hold those clumps of dead skin cells together.
So it doesn't kill the yeast, it just breaks up the flakes that are already there. The demolition crew.
Perfect analogy. It's excellent for clearing away the visible scales, makes things look better quickly, but you're right, it doesn't address the root cause, the yeast, or the inflammation. That's why it's almost always combined with an antifungal like ZPT or ketoconazole in shampoos.
That makes total sense. You can clear the debris and stop more debris from forming.
Yeah.
Okay, so what if these OTC options just aren't cutting it? What's the next step up?
If things are severe or really stubborn, that's when you'd see a dermatologist. They might prescribe stronger ketoconazole, like 2% strength.
Okay.
And for really bad flare-ups, intense itching and redness, they might use topical corticosteroids, short-term.
Steroids, powerful anti-inflammatories, right? But you said short-term.
Absolutely critical. Long-term steroid use on the skin can cause thinning and other side effects, so they're used strategically to calm down a major flare.
Makes sense. Are there non-steroid options for managing inflammation long-term?
Yes. For ongoing control, especially on sensitive areas like the face where you really want to avoid steroids, there are calcineurin inhibitors, things like tacrolimus. They target specific inflammation pathways without the steroid risks.
Okay. Now, we've talked ingredients, but the source has really hammered home that how you use these products is vital technique matters.
Oh, hugely. This might be the single most important practical tip. You can have the best medicated shampoo in the world.
But if you just slap it on and rinse it right off.
It won't work properly, or at least not nearly as well. These active ingredients need time to work.
Why? What needs to happen?
Well, think about it. Zinc Pyrithione needs time to get into the yeast cell and disrupt it. Selenium Sulfide needs time to interact with the skin cells to slow down their division. Ketoconazole needs time to inhibit that ergosterol synthesis. Salicylic acid needs time to dissolve the bonds between the skin cells.
Right, these are chemical processes. They don't happen instantly.
Exactly. If you rinse too soon, you're washing the medicine away before it's had a chance to do its job.
So what's the recommendation? How long should you leave it on?
Generally, the advice is to massage the shampoo thoroughly into the scalp, not just the hair, and leave it there for at least 3 to 5 minutes before rinsing completely.
3 to 5 minutes. Okay, that requires a bit of patience in the shower.
It does, but it's the difference between just washing your hair and actually treating the condition. And don't forget some supportive measures, too.
Like what? Anything natural that helps?
Well, there's some decent evidence for tea tree oil. Specifically, a 5% concentration in shampoos or applied carefully seems to have some antifungal and anti-inflammatory effects. It can be a good addition for some people.
Interesting. And lifestyle stuff, does that play a role?
Definitely. The basics count. Managing stress levels, getting enough sleep, these impact your immune system and inflammation. And diet matters too.
How so?
Ensuring you get enough nutrients like zinc, B vitamins, and healthy fats, particularly omega-3s, can help support overall skin health and maintain a stronger skin barrier. Remember, that barrier is your first line of defense against the oleic acid.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, dandruff is way more complex than just needing to wash your hair more.
Absolutely. It's this chronic interplay between a yeast that's normally there, your own scalp oil, and your individual skin's tendency to get irritated by the yeast's byproducts.
And managing it means being proactive, probably rotating treatments, and really focusing on that application time, letting the ingredients work.
That's the core message: consistency, the right ingredients for you, and proper technique. It's about managing a chronic condition, not usually finding a one-time cure.
Which leads to a really interesting final thought. We've talked a lot about killing the fungus or slowing skin cells. But if the real problem for that 50% of people is their specific immune system overreacting to plain old oleic acid.
Right. Where are you going with this?
Well, could the next generation of treatments move beyond just antifungals? Could we perhaps find ways to modulate that specific immune response? To basically teach the skin, hey, that oleic acid, it's fine, ignore it. Target the human response, not just the microbe.
That's a fascinating idea. Shifting the focus from controlling the trigger to controlling the reaction to the trigger. Targeting that individual susceptibility, maybe through modulating specific inflammatory pathways related to oleic acid sensitivity. That could potentially be a path towards a more fundamental, maybe even permanent solution down the line.
Something to think about while you're letting that shampoo sit for 5 minutes. Thanks for diving deep with us today.